They say myths are only stories, echoes of imagination passed down through time. But what if they're not just stories? What if the legends never truly died, but merely went into hiding? All around us, from the darkest forests to the deepest oceans, ancient creatures may still walk the earth, unseen, unrecorded, but never gone. These are the mythical beasts said to still exist in secret, living in the shadows of our modern world. In the lonely countryside of England, there are roads no one walks after dark. Villagers whisper of a creature blacker than midnight, with eyes that burn like coals. They call it the Black Shuck, a phantom hound that roams the misty fields and churchyards of East Anglia. The stories began centuries ago, when lightning split open the sky and the doors of a church in Blithburg burst wide. Through the smoke came the beast, its claws tearing the earth, its fur flickering like fire. When the storm cleared, the doors bore scorch marks, burned into the wood, claw marks that remain to this day. Some say the creature kills those who see it. Others claim it appears as a guardian, protecting travelers from unseen forces. But whether omen or savior, one thing is certain. Wherever the Black Shuck walks, death soon follows. Even now, motorists speak of glowing red eyes reflecting in the darkness beside rural lanes, of paw prints that vanish the moment they're seen. Perhaps the Shuck isn't a ghost at all, but something ancient that refuses to fade. A guardian of the border between life and death. Far from the roads of England, beneath the frozen expanse of the Antarctic, another legend waits. Japanese sailors began whispering about it in the early 2000s. A colossal pale being gliding beneath the ice. They called it the Ningen, the human. It was said to be the length of a submarine, with smooth white skin, long arms, and a face disturbingly like our own. Crews who claimed to have seen it swore that when lights touched its body, it dove back into the abyss with unnatural speed. Soon, satellite images began to surface. Blurry shapes beneath the ice that looked almost human. The Japanese government dismissed the reports, but rumors spread that ships had been sent to investigate and never returned. Legends from northern Japan speak of spirits that live between worlds. Water dwellers with faces like men and the hearts of ghosts. The Ningen, some say, is one of them. An ancient being that once ruled the frozen seas, now driven into hiding. The ocean is vast, its depths unexplored. For every species we've discovered, thousands remain unknown. Perhaps the Ningen is not myth at all, but proof that some stories were born from truth too deep for science to reach. The skies have their secrets too. Across the plains of North America, tribes spoke of a creature so immense that its wings could block out the sun. They called it the Thunderbird, a being of thunder and lightning. When it flapped its wings, storms gathered. When it cried, thunder rolled across the land. To the Lakota, it was a guardian spirit, a protector against the forces of chaos. To others, it was divine punishment, sent to strike down those who broke sacred law. But as the modern age dawned, the legend refused to die. In 1890, a group of ranchers in Arizona claimed to have shot a monstrous bird with a wingspan longer than a man, height 3 times over. It had reptilian skin, teeth in its beak, and wings like leather. They said they hung it across a barn and took a photograph. A photograph that was printed in the newspaper, then mysteriously vanished from every archive. Many recall seeing it, yet none can find it. Some think it was a hoax. Others believe the image was destroyed because it revealed something the world wasn't ready to see. Even now, from Alaska to the Midwest, witnesses report enormous shadows passing overhead, wings beating silently across the night. Could they be descendants of prehistoric giants, or something older? A living storm that once commanded the skies. When thunder echoes on a clear day, some say it isn't the weather. It's wings, still moving far above, In the frozen wilderness of the Arctic, there's another legend that refuses to fade. The Inuit tell of beings half man and half wolf, the Adlet. They were not cursed men like European werewolves, but a race born of blood and wilderness. Long ago, it's said, a woman married a great dog and bore 10 children, 5 dogs, and 5 that walked upright but carried the instincts of the pack. Hunted and cast out, the Adlet fled into the tundra, where they survived by tooth and frost. Hunters claim to have seen them racing across the snow at impossible speeds, their breath steaming in the cold, their eyes burning like frost fire. Their tracks, wide and strange, appear miles from any settlement and vanish mid-trail, as if the creatures lifted themselves into the wind. To this day, Arctic explorers tell stories of tall shapes pacing their camps at night, shadows with the gait of men and the silence of wolves. The wind carries strange howls that are neither animal nor human. The Adlet, they say, are still there, watching, waiting, surviving where no one else can. Perhaps they are not myths, but memories, the echo of an ancient race erased from history, living quietly at the edge of the world. Yet among all creatures of legend, few inspire fear like the Basilisk. The king of serpents, born from an egg laid by a rooster and hatched by a toad, its breath could kill, its gaze could turn men to stone, and its venom could melt through metal. In medieval Europe, entire towns were said to have been wiped out by invisible poison, their wells fouled by the creature's presence. Miners digging deep beneath the earth told of tunnels filled with bones turned to chalk, of air so deadly that torches burned green before going out. But one story endures above the rest. In 1587, workers excavating under the city of Warsaw discovered a sealed chamber filled with strange remains, bones fused into the stone itself. The men who entered grew sick and collapsed. Priests were summoned, and one lowered a mirror into the chamber, reflecting the creature's deadly gaze back upon itself. When the mirror was lifted, the presence was gone. Centuries later, when scientists returned to the site, they found the walls coated with traces of arsenic and sulfur, natural gases, lethal in the right mixture. But some say the gases were only what the creature left behind. The basilisk was feared not just for its power, but for what it represented. Death hidden in beauty, poison hidden in perfection. Even today, deep under ancient cities, tunnels remain sealed, marked with symbols of serpents and eyes. Perhaps the old priests weren't just superstitious. Perhaps they were keeping something locked away. We like to think of myths as stories, symbols of what people once believed. But what if belief was a form of memory? The line between myth and reality blurs when the same creatures appear across cultures oceans apart. Winged serpents, water spirits, giant wolves, and ghostly hounds. They all share traits, stories, fears. It's as if humanity remembers something together, something ancient, something real. Maybe these beasts never vanished. Maybe they adapted, learned to survive where we don't look, where our machines don't reach, where silence still reigns. Beneath the waves, within the forests, above the clouds, they could still be watching. Perhaps every unexplained noise in the woods, every shadow that moves when it shouldn't, is not imagination, but the last echo of an older world brushing against ours. Legends persist because they hold truth. Not scientific truth, but the kind that haunts the human soul. The idea that we are not alone, that something greater, older, and more powerful still shares this world with us. The ocean hides more secrets than the stars. The sky carries echoes of wings that once ruled it. The earth remembers what crawled and roared long before men walked upright. We may never see them, but they see us. The hound in the dark, the serpent beneath, the watcher above, they endure. And maybe, in some forgotten corner of the world, they still whisper our names. So the next time you hear a howl that isn't quite an animal, or feel the ground shudder when no car passes, ask yourself, Are the myths gone? Or are we simply too blind to see? Because legends don't die. They sleep, they wait, and sometimes they wake. If you believe some stories are more than stories, stay with me. Subscribe for more forgotten truths and tell me, which of these creatures do you think still walks among us?